Hi everyone, how are you doing? You must be wondering today why I'm sitting in this posture with these headphones around. This is how actually you attempt your PTE speaking. Today we are going to discuss about the speaking module in PTE, that's Pearson test of English. I hope you enjoyed my previous video, and I got a couple of comments about some of the viewers saying that the clarity in my voice was not that much appreciable. I really respect your comment, and I will try my level best to make today's video in a better way. Alright, but still eagerly I wait for your comments. Great. And I'm glad that many people were happy to know about or happy to know more about PTE, the Pearson test of English. So today I'm here with my YouTube channel Learn with Cherry to explain in detail about the speaking module in PTE. So let's move on. What are we waiting for? Fine. So what's PTE speaking? This is how you sit for PTE speaking test. As you know, the speaking test, unlike IELTS or any other test available today, it is with the computer. So the computer analyzes your speaking, assesses your language and gives you score. That's how it is done. Now we always have to speak clearly to the computer with this microphone here, and the computer records everything and gives the required score. Fine. So what are the questions we get in a PTE speaking? How are they different from other tests like IELTS? Let's begin. Your PTE test always begins with a personal introduction. Okay, the personal introduction is something where you have to speak about yourself for 30 seconds. Interestingly, this recording is not assessed for your scores. Then why? Usually your scorecards are sent to the admissions officer, who listens to this audio and gets an idea about you. That's it. Okay, it's not assessed for scores. Now your personal introduction can include about your name, your likes, dislikes, your purpose of attempting this test, and country you love to go to study or work or even settle, right? So that's personal introduction, where you have to speak for 30 seconds. After that you move on to your speaking questions. Now your speaking questions, number one, read aloud. As the name says, read aloud is a test which allows you to read a paragraph which is on the screen. Okay, it may have 2 to 3 sentences in each question. You are expected to read it. When you read it, your pronunciation is of course checked, right? Now there are assessment criteria for reading aloud. For example, your pronunciation, at the same time what and all is included in your pronunciation, the tone that you have while reading, the stress you give to the words in the paragraph, the speed or the pace you have, all these things matter when you do read aloud questions. So that's read aloud question. You have a paragraph on the screen. You have around 30 to 35 seconds to go through the paragraph and get ready to read it. After 35 seconds, with a beep sound, there is a recording which begins and you are expected to read it. When you read it, make sure you read it clearly and with proper pronunciation, right? And you have got 35 seconds to read the paragraph. It doesn't mean that you have to read and reach the 35 seconds. No, the 35 seconds given to you is the maximum. All right. So in this 35 seconds, you are supposed to finish reading the paragraph. That's called read aloud question. You may have 6 to 7 questions of read aloud in a single test of speaking in PTE. Right. Next question is repeat sentence. What is repeat sentence? It's a sentence which you will listen to and you have to repeat it. Okay. So usually the sentences are of normal length, maybe a few words in it. Sometimes they are very short, sometimes are long, but not too long. But you have to repeat it as it is. So basically what happens, you listen to a sentence. After that, immediately your recording begins with a beep sound and you have to repeat the sentence as it is. Once you repeat it, your answer is recorded in the system. It's as simple as it is, right? And in a speaking test, you may have 10 to 12 of these items. You must repeat them one by one once you listen to the sentences, right? Moving on to the next one, describe image. As the name says, you will get a graph or an image. Image may have a photograph or a graph which may include a bar graph, line graph, pie diagram, table. You will have 25 seconds to prepare. In this 25 seconds, look at the graph given to you, or if it's picture, look at the photograph given to you and be familiarized with it. For example, if it's a graph, make sure what graph it is, what is the topic given in it, what exactly are the extreme values in it, that means the highest, the lowest, or the trend in it. So by the time you have 25 seconds to prepare on it, then you have 40 seconds to describe the graph given to you. If it is a photograph, look at the photo and see what and all things you see in it, maybe human beings, animals, the buildings, the articles, whatever, the scenery, whatever may be the photograph about, look at it and be ready to describe it. Alright. Again, after 25 seconds, you will have to describe it for 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, you will describe it in your own way, but in English. Your English is tested in it, you know that, right? The whole test is about it. Now, when you describe, make sure you don't repeat any points. Okay, so be careful with that. Coming to the next question here, retell lecture. Now, what do you mean by retell lecture? Retell lecture. That means you will listen to a lecture. Okay, you will hear a lecture and you can prepare points on the lecture here, because in the PTE test, in the entire test, you will have an erasable notepad and a pen in your hand. So when you listen to this lecture, you can jot down points in short forms. Make sure you don't write sentences. So jot down points, and once the lecture is over, usually the lectures are of 60 to 90 seconds long. So once the lecture is over, you have few seconds to get ready, and with a beep sound, the recording begins again and you will be retelling what you heard. When you retell the lecture, you can use the points you have prepared in the erasable notepad. Alright, it is not compulsory that you use the same format of the lecture you heard when you say it. You can say it in your own way, but make sure you cover the points. Okay, and it is also compulsory to note that they do not have a number of points that you should cover in your answer. Alright, so this is retell lecture. You will be speaking about what you hear in the lecture for 40 seconds. Right? Next question, we move on to answer short questions. Here you will be asked certain questions and you are expected to give answers in one or few words. You are not supposed to give answers in sentences. In this section, detailed answers are not expected. You may have to give answers in one word or a few. And the questions are very simple that even a kindergarten student can answer. For example, a sample question which comes in this section is, what is the main difference between a wristwatch and a wall clock? The answer can be only in words, not in sentences. Remember, some candidates, they keep on explaining, which is not appreciable here. So here the word you can use is size. Of course, the size matters. So you can give the answer as size. A wall clock is bigger than the wristwatch, right? So the answer here can be size. Or another example for answer short questions is, you may have a question like, where do you go to complain about a crime? Police station, right? So your answer can be police station. It's as simple as it is. So this is called answer short questions. And there ends your speaking module of PTE. So on your screen, you can see the questions which can come in your PTE speaking module. Alright guys, that's all for today. Until we meet next time, keep watching my videos. If you have not subscribed to it yet, subscribe my channel, press the bell icon so that you get my video updates regularly. So until then, bye bye.